Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Season 4, Episodes 9, 10, 11, and 12. 4 episodes. That's because we are doing a little, you could say, mini marathon today, and we're just foregoing One Piece today to do this. I'm getting a little bit of a later start than I would have wanted, but hopefully it should be fine. If you're not seeing this until later tonight, in accordance with Eastern time, I don't know, let's say 10 to midnight Eastern time, then I apologize, and it's mainly because I wasn't able to get it all edited and uploaded prior to leaving for the bar tonight, as I do on Thursdays. But yeah. Hopefully I should be able to, I should be fine with at least recording, you know? So we have 4 more episodes of Star Versus, and so far this season has been, I wouldn't say great, but I definitely wouldn't say bad. It's been good. It's had a lot of good stuff, but it hasn't exactly, blown me away or anything. Now, episode 14, which will be next week, is apparently the mid-season finale, so hopefully they'll give us something big then. And maybe in these 4 episodes we're watching today we'll have something big. But I don't know. I do not know. I have no idea what's coming in these episodes. I somehow have avoided spoilers, despite being behind and everything. I have no idea how I managed that, but I mean, I'm okay with that. And yeah, I don't even know titles or anything. So, yeah. I'm excited to find out what we have in store. So last time we had a couple big things that I did really like. Again, while nothing in this season so far may have just completely blown me away, there were 2 things that were pretty damn big and pretty damn awesome. First off, is that they are moving forward with the ship of Marco and Kelly. With the entire episode for Kelly's World, or whatever it was called, we see that their relationship is growing, and they're kind of using the term breakup buddies to kind of make it work for the moment, but it's obvious that they legitimately love each other and have the great amount of chemistry to be together. So I like that they're handling that in a really good way. And the second thing, of course, is the destruction of Starco. I know a lot of people aren't happy about that. I know at least one person in my comments isn't happy about that, but I'm sorry. It's I'm over the moon for it. Starco, like I've said in the past, I do not think was ever a good ship. I love them as friends, but they don't have to be a romantic couple. Not every main male and main female character has to, and honestly, they've never really had that chemistry. And we found out last time that that was apparently intentional, that they never had that chemistry. Because their relationship, their love for each other was never actually real in the first place. It was all brought on by the curse of the blood moon. So, yeah, they never truly loved each other. It was all fake. And I'm so happy for that because it just felt fake. Nothing about it felt natural at all. Nothing about it felt real. Nothing about it was proper romantic chemistry. So, yeah, I'm glad that I was legitimately right in all of that, and it did turn out that way. And as I said before, if something happens to where they actually do start to have real romantic chemistry together and get back together by the end of the season, aka the end of the series, then I'm okay with that. If it happens naturally and if it feels legitimate, if the romantic chemistry is there. I'm not super against the idea of Starco. I'm just against how it had been done up to this point. I'm against the fact that there was no romantic chemistry up to this point. And again, if they build that up from this point forward, cool. But I mean, I'd still rather personally have Marco and Kelly be together and Star and Tom, because I just think that they're so much better relationships. And again, I don't think the main male and main female character have to get together. I think that's honestly pretty cheap. And Darren Nefsey and the crew of this show don't go the cheap route. They've made so many big statements and moments with this series. It's like, I just can't see them going that route. So I guess we'll find out, though, for the future. But yeah, I am excited to see where this goes, because I do love Star versus either way. And I'm hoping that these 4 episodes are pretty damn good. Again, I haven't really heard anything about them. Like, I haven't even heard about whether or not people like them or not. I don't know. Maybe I've just been too good, apparently, at avoiding spoilers that I'm avoiding even hearing what people are saying. I don't know. But tell me in the comments below if you've heard a lot of that stuff, if you hear a lot of that stuff on social media and whatnot. But either way, we should get onto the reaction and everything. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. This was an interesting set of episodes, and there's so much going on. I kind of had to look up the episodes again just to know each and every one and everything. So let's just go for in order, of course. So episode 9. So first off, we had Ludo. Ludo is kind of reuniting with his brother Dennis, and they're working to try and get the castle back up and stuff. This episode, it's good to see that we got some more Ludo in this, and to see that he is focusing. While he does still have trouble staying away from his obsession with the wand and star, we see that he's working on it, and that he is he is trying to make things right with Dennis and everything. He's just trying to move on. I like especially how he managed to just completely focus on that and just completely not even worry about the entire thing with Star after a while. But the second part of episode 9 was definitely a lot more interesting, was definitely starting to set up something big. So Moon goes back to the Butterfly Castle to get her day planner. When she finds Mina there. Mina apparently has been pretending to be a ghost in order to scare away anyone who would scavenge the place. And we see that Mina is still she's still full-on soldier and everything, and trying to basically, we can see that her plan, her idea is basically to restore Muni to the way it was. She wants Muni to go back. She wants Eclipsa to be dethroned. She's the one who used the yada yada berries to try and turn Eclipsa to stone in the first place. But Moon is just she's moved on, and she's trying to convince Mina, no, we're going to move on from this, and this is how it is now. But yeah, Mina just kind of runs off and is like, no, I'm going to make you queen again, and I'm going to always be a soldier. And so, yeah, it's that's interesting to see. Mina is definitely going to become at least one of the main antagonists going forth. I don't know if she will be the final one, but at least one of the main ones. After that, with episode 10, we get probably my favorite one of this. My favorite mini-sode was 10A, which was the cornball game thing. One, because it had some just amazing moments with Kelly, and also because of what it was starting to build upon. So we see this cornball, this sport in this world, in Muni. And Star has invited Buff Frog to have a front row seat with Eclipse on stuff. Star's plan here was so that the cornball players would be fully integrated to be monsters and Mumins working together. But instead, the monsters and Mumins kind of segregate themselves again. While Star is kind of arguing with them and stuff, the children go off and start their own cornball game. And it's both monster and Mumin children. And so eventually everyone starts to see what's going on, and it starts to change things. It starts to show how the future generations, like kids and all, don't see this. And I mentioned in my reaction that I compared it to racism and how children react to that. And how children naturally don't see race as a factor. And how that only comes into play if it's, like, nurtured into them. Naturally, children don't see that. They don't care if another kid's skin color is different. That doesn't matter to them. They'll play with them either way. And we kind of see that in here. Instead of, obviously, skin color, it's species, monster and Mumin. But it's very clear that that the monster Mumin thing has always been an allegory for race since the very beginning of the series. So it's clear what they're trying to do here, and I really like it. I really like how they managed to make this feel natural and real. So it was a very good episode, and I really like the way it turned out. I like how it didn't become perfect right away as well. How they're still struggling with it, but they're starting to get there. It's just a nice touch. So the second part of episode 10, though, was Glossaric taking Meteora to the past. And this episode was confusing, but I feel like probably is leading up to something still. So Glossaric takes Meteora to the past while Jana's supposed to be watching Meteora, but, being Jana instead. And Glossaric takes her to the dimension of time. Father Time's nowhere to be found, so they take the river instead, the River of Time, which apparently is run by Glossaric's son, which is interesting. Reynaldo is his name. So Reynaldo takes them to the past, but they go too far. They go to the point where the first Mumin settlers of Muni arrived in the land. And they seem to have, lost their, memories or something. They seem to be covered in magic or something, so they had no idea who they were, why they were there. But Glossaric helps them, and he gives one of them Meteora's rattle after putting one of the little magic unicorns in it, and basically turning it into the first magic wand. So the wand was Meteora's rattle, and that's how the lineage of Muni started. And I mean, that's kind of interesting because, I mean, if you think about it, royal lineages just didn't always exist. Usually they're taken or they're appointed in some way. So seeing how this lineage started basically just by Glossaric giving a magic wand to someone, it's that's interesting. That's fascinating. So this one woman on that little boat, this one settler, was the first leader of Muni. Really interesting. Glossaric in this episode, though, felt really off to me. Is that just me? Just his personality, the way he reacted to things and stuff. I don't know. Something about him seemed really different. And I'm not necessarily in a bad way, just really noticeably different. And it was a little unnerving at points because, again, it's not bad. It's just I wasn't expecting it, and it kind of threw me off. I don't know, and I know the voice actor is different because of the issues with the old one, and I get that. And honestly, I've said it before: a voice actor makes a character. And it's very noticeable that Glossaric is not the same. The voice is different. It's very noticeable. I believe it's Keith David who's doing it now, and I like Keith David. He's a fine actor and voice actor and all, and he's doing the best he can, but it's super noticeable, and it's like, this is just not the same Glossaric. It's like, this is not the Glossaric we loved as a character, and you can really tell the voice is different, especially in this episode. He's doing his best, but it's not the same, and it will never be the same, unfortunately. But either way, Glossaric takes Meteora to Toffee, a younger Toffee. Toffee seems to be a very, he seems to be acting like a teenager at this point, so he's probably pretty young. He apparently broke Glossaric's arm because Glossaric was making a crown of, like, leaves or grass or whatever. And, so Glossaric started to, kind of taunt Toffee. It's like, oh, why don't you just break my other arm? And eventually it gets Meteora to use her full potential of magic. But it almost seems, he mentioned something about, like, teaching Toffee a lesson. And it's like, what is this leading to something? Because, I mean, Toffee, if you remember, had Eclipsa's marks on his armor and shit. And we don't actually know why. We haven't seen that connection yet. So maybe we're going to see that at some point. Maybe that's going to come into play. I don't know, but I feel like it's setting up something, but I can't, for the life of me, think of what it would be. But either way, then we get to episode 11. So the first part of episode 11, Marco is knighted, but doesn't want to become a knight. He ends up getting basically kidnapped by the other knights to have this party. And when he reveals he doesn't want to be a knight, they start to, like, we're going to hurt you. We're going to torture you until you accept your role and stuff. And, well, choose your role. Choose what kind of knight you want to be. And also Mr. Candle is there, except he's referring to himself as as Sir Crandall now. But it's obviously the same guy. I mean, even the fact that he mentioned Echo Creek, it kind of proves that. But yeah, it's like the knights are kind of ganging up on him. But then when one of them almost burns his cape, he shows that he could have gotten out of there at any time and just takes them down. And then he ends up sending a few of them to the Never Zone, including Hicks, who we had seen before at the Quest Buy. It's fun to see her again. And she even came back out of the Never Zone. It's like, yeah, I'm so buff and strong now. It's like, oh, where are my muscles? And then she's like, there's nothing left for me here, and just goes back to the Never Zone. That's a really funny touch. It's really nice. I would like to see, like, what a Never Zone, like, older Hicks would look like. That would be fun fan art to see. But yeah, so Marco just heads back, and he and Star just have a little bit of a talk at the end there about him going back to Earth eventually and stuff. The second part, though, is probably my least favorite part of these episodes. So Queen Eclipsa apparently has been queen-napped by this mysterious circle of beings. So Star, Marco, and a couple others are searching for her, trying to get to her, and eventually they find her at a Reflecticor warehouse where she's just been testing out this product the entire time, this new bio product. And they find out that it was all a setup by Ponyhead and Seahorse and Ponyhead's sisters. And that it was basically a setup to try to increase Eclipsa's popularity. And it's like, can you possibly make me hate Ponyhead more? Because you're doing it. You're making me hate Ponyhead even more and more. That was absolutely horrible what she did. whether or not it worked and helped Eclipse gain a little more popularity, it was absolutely horrible and disgusting what she did. And it's like Ponyhead is easily the most dislikable character in this show. Like, seriously. There's no one in this show that I dislike, that I hate more than her. There's really no redeeming factor to her. Even in the end, after she claimed she was doing this like to try and make Eclipse more popular, she made it all about herself in the end. It's like, oh my god, you're so fucking annoying, selfish, and disgusting. I have never liked Ponyhead, and that episode really did not help. But our last episode for this set was episode 12. So the first part, Jana is trying to get Tom to go out and just live life outside of Star. And so she teaches him about boot sledding and stuff. And he seems to be having fun with it. But then Mina's crow, who we saw in the other episode with Mina, comes and apparently is stealing everything that Jana's been using for sleds. And so it tries to steal the boot, and they end up being able to follow it to Butterfly Castle, where we see that there seems to be a bunch of armor pieces. Now, Tom and Jana manage to fight the crow, which actually has this monstrous form, and are able to at least keep it at bay enough to escape. But in the meantime, we see that Mina is building this giant robotic suit or something. So it's like we're seeing more into Mina's plan to dethrone Eclipse and shit. And it's like, I'm definitely thinking Mina is going to be one of, if not the main antagonist of this season. They're definitely building to that. And the last part of episode 12 here, the second part of episode 12, was pretty interesting. It was focused on the spells, which I guess they're just in another dimension. I guess I assumed that they were in the wand itself, but I guess they're just in another dimension, like that the wand calls upon, or I guess in Star's case now, just she can call upon. So we see that there are Eclipse's spells as well, and they seem to be looking for something. So Narwhal goes to investigate as well as to get Glowworm back. And we find out that Eclipse's spells are trying to hunt down the most powerful of Eclipse's spells, which doesn't have a name and is just kind of this evil-looking butterfly. So Narwhal helps them track it down and capture it. Unfortunately, not before one of one of Eclipse's other spells is killed by it. They manage to capture it and contain it, and everything just kind of goes back to normal. Now, this, I think, is definitely set up to there. I think a lot of these episodes are setting things up. Eclipse's strongest spell is going to come into play at some point. I don't know how, I don't know when exactly, but it's going to come into play. And it's going to be really interesting to see how. I don't know if Eclipse is going to have to fight someone like Mina. I don't know if Eclipse is going to have to use it on someone else. I don't know. But I definitely think it's going to come into play. So yeah, those were our episodes. And it was a good set. Nothing spectacular. But it was a lot of setup, like I said. A lot of this was setting things up bit by bit. And I'm really interested to see exactly where it goes. Now, the next set of episodes is 13 and 14, and those will be released this coming Sunday, I believe. And I was told 14 is the mid-season finale, which means it's probably going to be a big episode. It's probably going to be something really important. And I don't know what. But I'm interested to find out. I'm excited to see what we get for the mid-season finale. And also, if I'm looking at the schedule, I'm not looking at like all the titles or names or anything. I'm just looking at the schedule. But there's not going to be any break after the mid-season finale. Because the mid-season finale, 13 and 14, come on the 21st. Oh, excuse me. And then, yeah, 7 days later, the next episodes come on the 28th, and it just keeps going. There is no, like, break there. So, yeah, that's a thing as well to note. So I wouldn't even really call it a mid-season finale in that case. Like, when I think of a mid-season finale, I think it's going to take a break. But I guess if it's not, then I don't know. Either way, yeah, these episodes were pretty good. Nothing super spectacular, but again, it was mostly just setup. It was building stuff up for the future, and I can't wait to see exactly where that goes. Because there's a lot that could go. It could go. A lot of ways it could just, you know, a lot of things it could do. But yeah, it's really interesting to see, and I'm really excited. I am really excited. We've also got a lot of Jana lately, so I don't know if she's going to be important in future episodes, but we've had a lot of her lately. And maybe it's just because she's been really popular amongst the fans, and she has been. And I mean, I love Jana too. I believe she's actually Luffy is Cool's favorite character. But yeah, it's like I don't feel like they just put her in just for fan service though. I feel like that she might have some actual point to be in all of this. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out though. I'm excited either way, and tell me in the comments below what you thought though. Tell me what you thought of these episodes, and thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully now we'll be able to keep on track. Hopefully now we'll be able to keep on track with these episodes and not get so far behind again. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through